Today I'm going to harvest my main crop potatoes. I've already pretty much used all of my early potatoes. You normally just dig them up as and when you require them in small batches, and they're a much smaller crop generally because they're baby new potatoes. But main crop potatoes, you wait till the plants have died back and harvest them all in one go. You can start harvesting them earlier than this, but to get a good crop out of them, we harvest them when the plants have all died down, so all the nutrition has gone down into the potatoes for storage. And I'm just sort of halfway through this first row. Um, I'm using actually a potato fork here, which has very flat tines, but you can use any garden fork really. The main piece of advice would be to go in from the side of the row, very carefully working your way sort of across the row in order to avoid stabbing the fork into your potatoes. Unfortunately, you invariably do this, and I seem to always manage to stab the best potatoes when I'm doing it, but just to try and avoid it, going in carefully from the side of the row. And it's useful to have your row markers in place so that you can sort of see where the potatoes are going to be. So I'm just sort of working my way through, picking out the good ones, and I'm laying them out on the surface of the soil to dry out a little bit. I've chosen a nice warm dry day to do this because you don't want to be doing it whilst the potatoes are wet, or there's any chance of any mildew lying around. And I'm going to actually leave them out in the sun for a few hours to dry the soil on them. I'm not going to wash the soil off. It kind of helps to almost seal in the moisture in a way, and you would wash them when you take them out of storage ready for use. And these are going to go into storage for the winter, and I'm hoping to have enough potatoes here to last me all the way into the winter. But we'll see how it goes. And this particular variety is a variety called Dalida, which is a local Limousin variety, and they're a really nice main crop potato, although actually they're also very tasty as a young early potato. And I have to save the tubers um, for replanting the following year because they're hard to get hold of. So here I've actually got a sack of potatoes that are going into storage. They need to go into a dark, cool but frost-free place. They don't want any light because they begin to grow, and they should last me all winter. There's a few there in the tub below that I've stuck my fork through, but I can use them up first. And if you've got loads, you can always make mashed potato and freeze it. Here I'm now going on to look at my tomatoes because they're starting to ripen quite nicely, and there's some various different sizes that I've grown. Some of these big heart-shaped ones are going to make um, sauces or frozen as peeled tomatoes, and the smaller ones I use in salads. I've also got peppers coming along. They're just beginning to ripen now, and some chilies here. These are my cayenne pepper chilies. I'll wait till they start to ripen. Then you can actually freeze them very nicely. That's a cat. These are some um, almost like a Turk's turban type chili. They're quite medium hot. These are some jalapenos. I've got plenty of them coming. I'm actually going to pickle them because they make great pickled jalapenos for pizzas and things. And these are some pepper dew chilies, which I'm also going to preserve, and they're great little chilies for stuffing. Um, I've got a good harvest of tomatoes today, and I'm going to start making some for going in the freezer, and I'm going to do this in two different ways. The nice big smooth skinned ones I'm going to actually peel by pouring boiling water over them, which splits and releases the skin. Then I take the skin off and just simply chop them up, take that little hard bit out at the end, and then I'm going to put them into bags in portions ready for freezing, and they'll last all winter, and they're great for putting in curries and things. The ones that are a little bit more misshapen and difficult to peel, I'm actually going to roast them. And all I've done here is chop them in half, taken the hard bit out of the end, and I've put them in an oven tray with some olive oil. You could put garlic in, or coriander, or pesto, or basil in at that point, whatever you like. But I try and keep it plain so I can use them for a variety of different purposes. Maybe just a bit of salt and pepper. And then I roast them for probably about 20 minutes just so they start to release the juice. And then blend them up. And it's quite important to sieve out the skins because um, you get all these bits of skin in it which make the sauce a bit not very smooth, and I always sieve them out. You don't have to, but I find it's worth the extra effort. And then I've bagged them up and put some into tubs, and again I'm going to freeze these, and this makes a really tasty sauce for pasta or for um, curries, or for even for you can make soup out of it, and I use it for all sorts of dishes throughout the winter.